Artist Alley vlogs.
Oh,
Heard
yeah.
about it?
Yeah, I just was like, I'm already out there, like learning for myself. So I just made videos and then I started kind of sharing the mistakes, many
That's
mistakes
very
that I
nice.
was making.
It's very nice.
And once I got it figured out, they got kind of boring because I was like just saying the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
So like the later episodes are just kind of me and my friends just being stupid at the table.
I think they're fun to watch.
I'll have to check them out.
I've been recording stuff since like 2020. I've been keeping this pretty like. Well, I'm making like a movie.
Oh, yeah. That would be cool.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing? You want to learn how to stream some art, huh? Yeah?
Yeah.
I love the passion. All right. You're going to be the next streamer that I follow now. Super excited to be the host of this panel today. We have some amazing, talented artists up here. You're going to learn all the nitty-gritty about how to stream art, and you get to learn about their experience and hear their stories. So let's dive into it.
Will we always stay this way? Wrapped up in the summer days. Try to find that piece of time that lets me freeze you in my mind. I don't want us to change, don't want us to chip away. Oh, I'm trying to save our bodies against the waves. Could we stay in blue? Everything was new. I don't wanna leave this room. Just let me stay. Let me stay with you. Could we stay in blue?
So I've been playing myself out of love in your arms. I think those are probably some of his best.
Wait. Did I forget something? Did I forget the displays, the king displays?
Well, have you checked every single box?
One bad thing when it comes to like these kinds of setups, you know, see how it's so deep? I don't like doing that in general because it just like it puts things really far away from the attendee, right?
Yeah, it does.
So I do like pushing things a lot closer. So this might be one of those blessings in disguise
Yeah.
because I believe in God.
Yep. How do you become partner?
There's a minimum criteria of you have to have an average, so it measures a rolling 30 days, okay? You have to have an average of 12 streams, a minimum of 12 streams, an average of 75 viewers, and some amount of hours, which is really easy. The thing that makes it hard is, let's say you get rated and there's like 1,000 viewers, right? For that one stream, but your other streams, you're only at like 20. Because you have to have at least 12 streams during that 30-day roll period, it's gonna be like, you're gonna bring that under the 75 minimum. So you have to have a consistent 75 minimum during those streams. Really fucking hard. It's hard because you're not. It's hard for me to get those kinds of viewers because when people come to Twitch, it's become almost the norm for people to act like they have fucking autism and ADHD. You know what I mean? Just, guys, welcome to the stream. Oh, okay. So today, you know, like, that's what people expect when they come on the Twitch, and that's what the majority of the audience is looking for, and I don't do that. I'm just here, I'm just like, look, man, I fucking draw. You're down? Get the fuck out of here. No, you know, I'm not like that, but like, that's why. I don't think I'm ever gonna hit partner. This is still gonna work. Look how tall that bitch is.
Is there a height rule?
Nope. One more, sir.
Share?
Yes, please.
Excited to see our hotel.
Motel.
Oh shit.
Oh, it ain't like that this time, bro.
Oh no.
It ain't like that.
No.
What?
Did I not tell you? Didn't I tell you?
We trying to make some money up in this bitch.
I know.
Well, it's either I got a motel and then paid you more, or I got a hotel and cut your pay.
Nah, man.
I can maybe draw a circle perfectly.
Perfect circle.
And we have Chris. Let's learn a little about you too.
I'm Chris Cayco. I'm a full-time Twitch streamer. I work with DeviantArt, and my streams are focused around just studying fundamentals, and I do full-time cons as well, and I like to do live art, like ink artwork, heavily influenced by Kim Jong-gi. And yeah, it's nice to be here. That's what we do on my stream, just hang out and study. And that's some of my work there.
Perfect. Now we're going to get into why would anyone want to stream art, all right? We stream art because we want to share our process, and how we create art is something we want to share with our communities, all right? Meeting people with a similar interest as well is important and helps you keep focused. You know, you can get your commissions done while you're streaming and share that with your community. And, you know, your audience feels more connected to the art, and getting to interact with you during that process is amazing. It's a great feeling. And, you know, this can also turn into more sales, you know, commissions, more inquiries, and so forth. And we'll have some of the panelists touch on this too. Like, why do you stream art?
I know for me, it helps me stay focused, even though we get sidetracked with dumb stories and inside jokes. It's still, like, I produce more within 2 hours of being on stream than if it was me with like a true crime documentary on the side, like drawing by myself. So it really keeps me focused, and then it's also just a way to like show my work to the world in a way.
If I can jump in, I think since it helps show the entire process, or it can show the entire process from start to finish, it kind of helps people realize the value in art and why it costs as much as it costs, because oftentimes people are like, this is expensive, or I could do this myself. You may have heard that before. So I think when people actually see the entire process, it really helps them see firsthand, like, oh, this is why they spent this much time, it took that much effort to do this.
I also find it's similar to being in a room full of like friends. You get a lot of friends together and draw and like bounce ideas off of each other. I've had merch created from like goofy ideas from the chats, and I've created a lot of fun art and just got ideas for creating other things. So it's kind of like being in a big room full of creatives and just talking together, and you know, like Caitlin said, like getting inside jokes.
And I guess more on the business side, I mean, you do want people to start being invested in you, because after a while, because there's a lot of people who are really good at art these days. So it's like when they want to hire you for something, often it's maybe more of like they like you as a person and an artist, more so than, you know, like your rate. And streaming, they get to connect with you like one-on-one and kind of get more like about you. So I think that's really important.
Perfect. And we're going to talk about engagement in an art stream. What is there to talk about on Twitch art anyways? So if you've never been to an art stream, you might assume that an art stream is, you know, boring and slow, exists purely just to draw free art for viewers. No, absolutely not. It's not true. What do you actually talk about in an art stream? And we could start off with our panelists.
Honestly, it's just like a just chatting stream. Anyone can just talk about anything. A lot of the times we're just sharing life stories. People will come in and always ask about art tips. So I think everyone does have art tips, whether they're a beginner or not, you know. So You know, we recommend things, talk about our own personal experiences with art and just what our art journey has been so far and stuff. Anime, TV, video games, you know, all of that stuff too, we talk about.
It is borderline just chatting, right?
It's almost just chatting. Just chatting plus an activity.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like inside jokes that come out of it too that you start to build with your community that really helps you to connect to everybody. So it's like, it's probably the opposite of what you're thinking. Like, you know, there's a lot of goofing off and stuff and things that are like the antithesis of professional, but that's what makes it fun.
I find that the best conversations come up when the less experienced artists or people who are trying to figure it out come through. I find those are the best conversations. So like if you're in a position where they come to you for advice, you really should like take a second to think about it, because like some people really want help. But for engagement, I see that like people just love that. Plus you get to help someone. But yeah, so if somebody comes to you about like advice for that, you really should like, I honestly take it very seriously. But I know people really like that topic when it comes up.
So I want to see what's in the TwitchCon free stuff. It's just more ads. It's very on brand for Twitch.
We talk about just general health of an artist.
Yeah.
When we have the regular streams in the office. Chaffee, what's going on? You still working on those commissions? Okay, you're not an artist.
No.
But you've heard the term art block.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of people like to throw that word around when they're just like, well, I can't be creative today. It's just nothing's happening. I'm feeling really like exhausted or whatever. And they're just like, oh, I have art block. And I'm just like, when was the last time you exercised? When was the last time you went outside? When was the last time you talked to another person? Because you're always, as artists, we're always in our room. Like, are you like slouched over like every day?
Yep.
What's your diet? Oh, it's all garbage? No, art block's the problem though. So
We were moving the Shikishis last time though.
oh, at Anime Expo,
Yeah, like half of
we
them.
did like hella Shikishi board commissions, yeah.
So it doubles your money.
This is pre-TwitchCon. We went to TwitchCon to set up. It was the con itself starts tomorrow and then ends on Sunday. But as exhibitors, we got there today and we went to go set up the table. It took us. We got in about what 8:30.
Yep.
9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. It's about 2:30.
Yep.
Took us 6 hours to set up everything. So what happened was.
Yeah.
I have these tall 4-foot prints that I use for my display in combo with my pro panels, which are these black boards. They look very, very professional. And for $2,000, better. But I forgot them at home because I haven't been sleeping the last 2 days. And I just slipped my mind. I just, is what it is. So we were forced to change the entire setup. And then change the size of the prints that we put on the wall. So because the size of the prints that we're using is smaller, the ones that were display that we normally have on display, they're 4 feet tall, 3 feet wide. We had to just use the 2 foot wide, 3 foot tall. So because they're smaller, you don't want them to sit really far back. So we had to change the configuration of the boards and move it closer. So it was just all of that was today, like figuring out like, all of that. If that sounds complicated and annoying, it is.
I realized instead of saying like take 1, and then by the time I'm at day 3, I'm like take 50,000. It's like day 1, take 1, and then day 2, take.
It took you 10 years to figure that out.
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
Somebody just showed up. Yeah, what the hell, maybe? Probably call.
Yeah. Someone famous, quote, quote, just probably went to their meet and greet.
Twitch famous, right?
Twitch famous, yeah. We say Twitch famous like it's derogatory, like it's any worse or better than being regular famous.
I suppose it's the future of things.
It is. Yeah, that league drawing, I just finished that like 3 weeks ago, so it's up to date still. For now. I appreciate it.
Not looking more, but just gonna. I'm so tempted. I like how they got every single Pokemon. Yeah, this is. You know,
Here.
I'm a big fan of both.
I got
And Dragon Ball Z.
There you go.
And Rick and Morty.
Are you fans of Attack on Titan?
Oh yes, I am. Yeah.
All right, so I drew all of these live on my stream, right? When we're done here, well, not this upcoming Monday, the Monday after that, I'm gonna start a new one with all the Attack on Titan characters.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so if you wanna hit up my stream when we do that, that's gonna, it's the QR code, you can just hit that up, or my name, yeah.
Day one?
I think this is the highest day one I've ever had.
That's crazy.
You know, I haven't been to the bathroom since we got here. My body has this weird, like, it knows I'm at a con, so I don't need to go. But the moment we clean up, I'm gonna be like dancing over to the bathroom.
Dude, you're gonna tell me about the panel?
I'll tell you about the panel.
Yeah, dude, how'd it go?
It was good, man. So it started off, there's a slideshow. We gave them pictures of like our setup, and we talked about like the gear that we used, how we engage with our people, like different tips and generic tips and tricks. And then it opened up to Q&A, which is, in my opinion, the whole thing should have just been Q&A, because I think answering specific questions from a crowd is better than having like a presentation.
This thing. Oh, hi.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah, so the question I had is, say for instance, well, I got two questions pretty quick. The first one is, if you're barely starting out, how do you funnel the following that you have successfully? Like, how do you do that on your end to bring it when you were barely starting on Twitch? And then the second question is, when you get raid, how do you keep that retention so that way you minimize the loss of people who are coming in? It's like, you know what, maybe I'm not interested in this, and they just leave. Right, so those two questions, basically.
I guess for one of them in terms of like bringing community over from like other channels, I think my main one is YouTube. That's probably my largest thing. So I just like post about it. I plug it in videos. I just post it on everything. Like, I know it feels a little weird to market yourself like heavily, but you kind of got to do it. So you just like market and then just like push it constantly.
That is one of the important tips I heard about commissions one time is it feels weird to advertise yourself so much, but you need to, because not everyone's going to see it the first time you post it. So if you're going to start streaming on Twitch, then and you already have a following somewhere else, then post it once. Maybe after a day, you can post it again. Hey, I'm actually streaming on Twitch, or just like kind of like keep putting it in there. Like, hey, did you know I stream on Twitch? You know, like kind of how people do with Patreon. Yeah. And I think that'll bring some people to your stream, announce it on your Insta stories or Twitter and stuff like that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it definitely seems more like they're just not seeing your post more than they're not interested in it. Like if you have a big, because I start off mainly YouTube as well, and most of the things that got me started on Twitch were the people I brought over. But I mean, I had what, like 50K on YouTube at that time, and I barely got like a couple hundred of them. But that's because they didn't see your stuff. That's why you have to just keep reminding them. So even though, like they said, it feels weird to keep plugging yourself, I mean, to them, they're only seeing it like once or twice, even though you're putting it up like 10, 15 times.
So when you're starting art or streaming or anything in general that's kind of skill intensive, there's always a phase where your ego is much higher than your actual ability. My question is, how do you let yourself go through the part where you're not very good, but you're okay with being not very good, and get to the point that you can improve?
I think for me, it was just kind of like, I don't know, you kind of humble up pretty quick in a way, like just have fun with what you're doing, because if you're having fun and someone comes in and kind of dogs on you, or maybe you don't feel as confident in your work, like if you're just having fun with the thing you're making, it kind of helps overshadow that lack of confidence.
In my experience, the only artists or people who have the time to like try to make you feel bad about your art really aren't worth listening to anyway. So if somebody comes in while you're drawing and they say something, they don't really matter anyway. So I don't know why you shouldn't let that affect, you know. But at the same time, you know, if you're able to identify, like with your drawing, if you could identify where your weaknesses are, then you should work on that.
Yeah, I think it's really hard just as an artist in general to remember that everybody grows at a different speed and everyone's end goal for their art is different. So I don't know. That's a really personal question, I think. How you get confidence as an artist, basically. Yeah, I think you just have to go on, please. If you have something to say. I don't know where I'm going with this. So. No. Yeah, that's a tough one, though. Yeah.
But also, you know, long term as an artist, you know, having a really big ego is going to make life really, really hard. So again, I don't know your situation, but like just chilling out will help you a lot, you know. So if you start streaming and you only get like 3 viewers for like the first couple of months or something, you know, just one, don't take it personally, but also, I mean, what makes you think you really, you know, quote, quote, deserve more, you know what I mean? Just kind of like, oh, I don't get what I deserve, I get what I get. And then you could just do your best, and if you're getting the results, if that's the result of you doing your best, you should be able to sleep at night with that.
Thank you. So the way I did the Dragon Ball drawing was I went through every episode, original series, Z, GT, Super, and all the movies, and I would just pause it every time a new character came on, and I would just draw them in, and I just repeated that for like 3.5 months every day until it got done.
You got everybody.
Just everybody.
I have a question to ask though.
Yeah.
Like the Pokemon one specifically, because like obviously like Gen 9 coming around, and there's gonna be new Pokemon released for that. Like, do you have like the same image file, and then you like draw a new Pokemon, and add those new Pokemon to this image specifically?
I do a little bit more of a facelift than that, but basically, yeah. Like the last version of this, because I finished the first one of this back in like 2016.
Yeah.
And then I recently updated it for, you know, Arceus and everything since then.
Yeah.
And I took that original file, but because my computer's stronger now, I actually made everything bigger. I upscaled it, which means I had to do a little bit of like, because you know when you upscale, it gets a little blurry. So you have to do a little line cleanup. So I mean, then you have to move things around. So it's kind of like that, but there's a lot of little surgery that goes into it. Yeah.
So I say like, I hope there's not like 100+ new Pokemon, or even that's gonna be a bit of a time for it. It's really impressive.
Because I draw them based on Pokedex size.
Yeah.
I was just, you know, I thought I had future-proofed it before.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, well, Wailord's pretty big. I think I'll be okay as long as they don't release like a giant Pokemon.
Gigantic.
And then Gigantic, I was like,
I love what you do with Wailord.
MSI gifts?
MSI gifts. FS.
MSI FS? That's bad, they just gave it for free. Artist Alley, this would be like $40. How's it going?
Okay.
We do offer, I do offer anything that's purchased here, free shipping. It comes with tracking and insurance.
If I could do shipping, that would actually be great.
Yeah.
That's cool that you guys do that.
Yeah, thank you so much. These are
Yeah. He noticed the Potaro. You said league, right? League? Yeah. Okay.
So I was just wondering if there are like any tips and tricks for how to keep engaging with chat, not necessarily engaging with chat, but just finding things to say. Like I'll find myself getting pretty quiet a lot of the time, and that can be okay if I do like sort of extreme or something. But I seem to have difficulty finding like those threads of conversation, if you will, when it comes to art streaming versus doing like gaming streams or something. Are there any ways that you guys go about finding those threads a little bit easier?
When I feel like things are getting slow, I'll just start like vocalizing what I'm doing. Like, all right, so I'm going to rotate this perspective right here, right? And then like, just like drag it out. And you're kind of creating conversation, but you're creating it based on like the thing that you're drawing already. So it's like, I mean, it's already there. If they engage with it, and people who watch art streams usually are other artists. So that would be the best way to kind of like throw darts at the board and maybe start conversation.
Yeah, and then I go through like, oh, I just watched like this new movie on Netflix, and then if there's crickets, I'm like, oh, cool. Well, then I went out and checked out this new boba shop recently. I just go through whatever's been happening in my life, like I'm talking to like a friend, and then once chat like latches on something, we'll focus on that for quite a while. So that helps.
Asking what they're currently working on and what they're drawing, or if they have a project, or you know. When you ask that, usually you kind of, like people love to talk about their projects. So you could start filling up the chat real quick just by asking what they're doing. Like, oh yeah, tell me all about it. And they'll tell you about it.
Solid. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so I know that you guys talked about this a little bit in the presentation, but comparing like your own art to other people's art could sometimes be really difficult, even though it's kind of important not to do that. So do you guys have any more specific tips on how to like stop doing that?
Yeah, I think one thing that helped me a lot was doing some art challenges, like, Inktober or something, because anything that can take a lot of the pressure off of you, where it's like, oh, you only have this amount of time, so, of course it's not going to be your very best work. Being able to just do a bunch of those can sometimes help, because it helps you not only like I guess get better at your craft, but also do it in a way where you're not feeling pressured and comparing yourself so much.
And I think it's always hard because we all have those mental low days where we see someone, we're like, oh my God, they're like 12 and they're drawing how I am now. We all have those. So I think what helps me a lot is like looking at my old work and seeing, comparing myself to my old self. And I'm like, no, Caitlin, you can calm down. Look how much you've progressed. And then focusing in on like things I want to make and projects I want to complete. That helps me a lot, where I'm like, nah, I can't be sad. I gotta draw this thing. So yeah.
It's true. Sometimes if you get so busy, you have no time.
Yeah, I'm too busy to be sad.
There's like two different ways you can use comparison. Like the healthy way is to look at somebody's artwork that you deem is better than yours, and just pick it apart and find the things that you want to learn how to do. That's the responsible way to do it, and that's how you're going to get better. I feel like if you're especially on social media too much, because I don't like to be on social a lot, but it's my job. But I feel like if you browse artwork and you're allowing it to make you feel bad, then you gotta just put it down for a little bit and be a little bit more responsible. Say, I can't use this responsibly. Just gotta put it down. I'm just gonna draw. Make out the things that, write out a list of things that you need to get better at with your art. Just put this down and then go work on that. And if you do that, I know asking somebody to get off of social for like a week is a lot to ask, but you'd be surprised how much progress you're going to make with your drawing if you just step away from it for a little bit. And then every time I do that, I notice I care a little bit less about other people's artwork, because at the end of the day, it actually has nothing to do with your artwork. And that's what's going to be most beneficial to you, like up here.
something, yeah, I finally feel alive. 'Cause I know what day is coming when the sun will rise. Made something out of nothing, found something deep inside.